This is GPT-4, the device which will change our understanding of what modern technology can do. It will have 100 trillion parameters, which is 500x the size of GPT-3. The company OpenAI was born to tackle the challenge of achieving artificial general intelligence, an AI capable of doing anything a human can do. Such technology would change the world as we know it. It could benefit us all drastically if used adequately, but could become the most devastating weapon in the wrong hands. That's why OpenAI took over this quest. To ensure it'd benefit everyone evenly, the company's goal is to advance digital intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity as a whole. However, the magnitude of this dilemma makes it arguably the single biggest scientific enterprise humanity has put its hands upon. Although all the advances in computer science and artificial intelligence, no one knows how to solve it or when it'll happen. Some argue deep learning isn't enough to achieve AGI. Stuart Russell, a computer science professor at Berkeley and AI pioneer, argues that focusing on raw computing power misses the point entirely. We don't know how to make a machine really intelligent, even if it were the size of the universe. OpenAI, in contrast, is confident that large neural networks fed on large datasets and trained on huge computers are the best way towards AGI. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's CTO, said, "We think the most benefits will go to whoever has the biggest computer." And that's what they did. They started training larger and larger models to awaken the hidden power within deep learning. The first non-subtle steps in this direction were the release of GPT and GPT-2. These large language models would set the groundwork for the star of the show, GPT-3. A language model 100 times larger than GPT-2, at 175 billion parameters. GPT-3 was the largest neural network ever created at the time, and remains the largest dense neural net. Its language expertise and its innumerable capabilities were a surprise for most. And although some experts remained skeptical, large language models already felt strangely human. It was a huge leap forward for OpenAI researchers to reinforce their beliefs and convince us that AGI is a problem for deep learning. OpenAI believes in the scaling hypothesis. Given a scalable algorithm, the transformer in this case, the basic architecture behind the GPT family, there could be a straightforward path to AGI that consists of training increasingly larger models based on this algorithm. But large models are just one piece of the AGI puzzle. Data stopped being a bottleneck when the machine learning community started to unveil the potential of unsupervised learning. That, together with generative language models and a few-shot task transfer, solved the large datasets problem for OpenAI. They only needed huge computational resources to train and deploy their models, and they'd be good to go. That's why they partnered with Microsoft in 2019. They licensed the big tech company so they could use some of OpenAI's models commercially in exchange for access to its cloud computing infrastructure and the powerful GPUs they needed. But GPUs aren't built specifically to train neural nets. The gaming industry developed these chips for graphic processing, and the AI industry simply took advantage of its suitability for parallel computation. OpenAI wanted the best models and the best datasets, and they also wanted the best computers chips. GPUs weren't enough. Many companies realized it too, and started to build in-house specialized chips designed to train neural nets. However, a pure software company like OpenAI can hardly integrate hardware design and fabrication. That's why they took another route, using third-party AI-specific chips. Here's where Surpass systems enter the scene. This chip company already built the largest chip ever to train large neural networks in 2019. First, Surpass has built again the largest chip in the market, the Wafer Scale Engine 2, WSE2. It is 22 centimeters on each side and has 2.6 trillion transistors. In comparison, Tesla's brand new training tiles have 1.25 trillion transistors. Surpass found a way to condense computational power efficiently, and so WSE2 has 850,000 cores, the computational unit. They also solved the heating problem with a novel cooling system, and also managed to create an efficient I/O flow of data. There aren't many uses for ultra-specialized super expensive mega-powerful chips like WSE2. Training large neural networks is one of them. And so Surpass talked to OpenAI. From talking to OpenAI, GPT-4 will be about 100 trillion parameters. that won't be ready for several years. Since GPT-3, there's been a lot of expectation around OpenAI and its next release. Now we know it'll come out in a few years and it'll be extremely big. It'll be more than 500 times the size of GPT-3. You heard that right, 500 times. So, what can we expect from GPT-4? 100 trillion parameters is a lot. To understand just how big that number is, let's compare it with our brain. The brain has around 80 to 100 billion neurons, GPT-3's order of magnitude, and around 100 trillion synapses. GPT-4 will have as many parameters as the brain has synapses. The sheer size of such a neural network could entail qualitative leaps from GPT-3 we can only imagine. We may not be able to even test the full potential of the system with current prompting methods. However, comparing an artificial neural network with the brain is a tricky business. The comparison seems fair, but that's only because we assume artificial neurons are at least loosely based on biological neurons. A recent study published in Neuron suggests otherwise. They found that at least a 5-layer neural network is needed to simulate the behavior of a single biological neuron. That's around 1,000 artificial neurons for each biological neuron. But even if GPT-4 isn't as powerful as our brain, it sure will leave a few surprises. Unlike GPT-3, it probably won't be just a language model. So I hope this gave you an insight into how the GPT-4 device will change AGI forever. Thanks for watching guys, and feel free to leave some feedback, drop a like and hit subscribe if you haven't already.